Now, here's your hosts, the League Dad, Kevin, Mitchell, and Alistair.
What's up, gamers, and welcome to another episode of the All In Podcast. I am the League Dad, and as always, I'm here with my awesome co-hosts, Kevin, Mitchell, and Alistair. And, I just realized as I listened to the intro of our podcast, I'm the only one with a gamer name. I guess Kevin Shee's kind of like, that's just your name. And then it's Mitchell and then Alistair. I'm like, why am I the only one with a name? Come on, guys. There's got to be something we could do here, right? I mean, no.
Well, I mean, my IGN is Mitcher Man, so it's it's still just my name. I don't know what to say. I thought I had a great name, so it's also my.
I mean, nothing wrong with that. I just think it's funny that everyone except me has just their name. Maybe I should just change mine. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But that's not even important, because what is important is that 100 Thieves is out of the lock-in. I mean, this is just crazy stuff here. Alistair, that was your prediction to win. I mean, to be fair, the rest of us had them second, so it's not like second or third, but we had them up there, and they just got eliminated by Dignitas, who was not looking good at all. And so let me just get your initial jaw-dropping reactions. What are your thoughts about 100 Thieves dropping this ball?
I mean, the first game, or their first game of the weekend, they beat Cloud9, and they lost to Dignitas and who was it? FlyQuest?
I can't remember.
The 100 Thieves games? Yeah, I don't remember either.
Yeah. I don't know. They randomly just lost 2 games. It was really weird. I don't know.
Yeah. They only played C9 and Dignitas, or I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, they did lose to.
It was FlyQuest. I was right.
It was FlyQuest.
And they lost to FlyQuest randomly, and then they beat C9 and GGS, I think.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yes, I remember now. Probably like a classic case of a little bit of at least underestimating their opponents, right? Trying harder for Cloud9, not really preparing for Dignitas or FlyQuest at all, and then losing. But you'd think losing to FlyQuest initially would be a bit of a wake-up call to maybe take Dignitas a bit seriously. Because if you look at the quality of game that was shown by both Dignitas and 100 Thieves, they both played very, very poorly. Both mechanically and sort of just like, I don't know, I'm going to run at you and fight. I did not feel like 100 Thieves even played the game, really. Dignitas, it seemed like they tried to play the game pretty well. They drafted better, and they had an idea of what to do macro-wise. But their mechanics are so terrible that 100 Thieves was still in the game.
Yeah.
But those are my overall thoughts on that series. Just,
my quick thoughts as well. I think that, don't let Blue score fool you. He did not play well, and that's where the mechanical issues in my eyes came from, primarily. I think River played well. I think the bot lane was good for Dignitas, but, good is a relative term. They weren't that great. They were pretty good. But it just looked like 100 Thieves dropped the ball, and then they boomed out of the series. So that's my take.
Yeah.
I mean, as a person who plays Ezreal a little bit in ARAMs and whenever I get autofill to ADC, Neo didn't even play a very good Ezreal game. Yeah, he was 5-1-4, but the amount of times where it felt like he just kind of ran away without weaving in a quick auto here and there, missing Qs on stun targets, missing Qs on slowed targets or knocked up targets, it felt like it was just a really poorly played game all around. And then if 100 Thieves had even remotely showed up, that there's no way they would have lost. I honestly, River, he got a lot of applause, and I think that decision-wise, he knew what to do. But he was a monkey on the J4. He missed so many easy EQs, kind of just went in, jump in, get out with 1 HP, and bait his team a lot to die too. So, I'm talking about the winning team right now, so it's this series was not good. This series is not quality NA.
From what it sounds like we're really more on the side of 100 Thieves played super bad as opposed to Dignitas playing amazing. And it is, not to take away anything, they still got to win the games. Dignitas pulling up the upset here. I don't think it's we just talked about this. I don't think it's time to overreact and panic yet. But what we did see was not good. From 100 Thieves, this is your defending champs. A lot of people had them predicted to win, not just us. So it does kind of throw everything for a wrench. I don't even know if that's the saying. I just said that for some reason. But did you guys have any other thoughts on the 100 Thieves game? Or I mean, what about Dignitas? Because we talked about Neo, and I know Blue. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said Neo either. Blue is not that good, right? His Victor was terrible. What we've seen so far has not been that great, but he did pop off on Zoe. I mean, what do you guys think of his performance? Kind of one bad game, one good game. What are you seeing from him?
Not gonna lie, like I honestly thought that normally we're like, okay, he's okay if he wasn't an import. I don't even know if he would be competitive amongst our non-imports. Like Palafox is better, at least in the 2 games, right? Like, yes, he had a good Zoe game, but they were pretty much playing against a team that was boomed out of their mind in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that to take credit away. I'm saying that I don't give that much credit. I'm not taking credit away, but it's not a big plus. So
right.
I need more than that sample size to see, like, is this guy worth an import slot? Like, we have some legendary players as imports guys. There's no way this guy's an import worthy player. River is much more worth it, and it was the same team GMing for this. So I don't know.
True. Okay. Nobody else has hope in Blue. I mean, the thing is, there's a lot of mid lane talent, and he's just not impressing at all. And I think when you tag that import slot, it just makes it even worse. So, I mean, closer, thoughts on him? I mean, he was looking good. He got his Viego twice. What do you think it was really? I mean, to me, just the eye test, it felt like they couldn't control objectives that well. It seems like they would get there, but then they'd just get engaged on, and there was nothing they could do. They couldn't claim that fight. In fact, even though Neo played not great, his Ezreal, though, I felt like was such a factor because he wouldn't die. And, he hit you with a couple Qs, even if he misses like 30 of them, he hits you with a couple. It's like they couldn't, even if they supposedly won a team fight, he would still be alive just kind of being a nuisance. And he was, stalling long enough to where I felt like 100 Thieves couldn't really close in on anything, snowball on anything, get a lot of objectives. So that's what I saw. We'll have to see if Dignitas can play better. But I did feel like, even before this match, I thought River would be good because he's, from what I've seen from him so far in the past, he seems good, and he looked good to me. So I mean, I'm gonna put Dignitas, give them a little bit of positivity, and we'll see if that trend continues. I could be completely wrong next week. They just go right back to normal.
Yeah. I mean, Dig clearly had better drafts in their games.
I think so.
When you talk about how Ezreal, just no one could touch him, it's like he's got Ezreal with a Karma behind him and so much CC in front. Like, there's nobody on 100 Thieves that can get onto him, right? Like, you have to kill everybody else before the Ezreal, because it's just a Gwen, Viego, Orianna, like, there's no big gap closer. There's no way to follow. Like, the only thing that can really run him down is Gwen after a long time, like a long time, right? Eventually run him down with Ghost. But the way the team folks worked out was like, it did seem like 100 Thieves would win, and then Ezreal would just poke, and then very, very eventually Dignitas would win, and then they get the objective at the end. But I think this is also a big deal that 100 Thieves doesn't know how to play the game, as in they don't know how to get leads, snowball leads, and keep the lead and end the game without being able to TP to bot lane.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Yeah, right.
They don't know what to do. Someday is just sitting top lane on an island. He's not solo killing anybody. So what is their team identity? Well, literally all last year it was Someday sacks lane to TP bot. They get FBI Huhi ahead. Closer picks up some kills. They get every single drag and they choke you out. Game's over 25 minutes. They can't do that. They don't know what they're doing, honestly, at all.
Against Cloud9 though.
But they didn't do it with the same strategy, right? And I think they were trying a lot harder too. But it's not like it's not easy for them. Like, I do think that if 100 Thieves tried as hard as they did against Cloud9, they definitely beat Dignitas. So yeah, I agree. But it's like, I feel like they could be playing at like 40% power last year and beat Dignitas. They just do the same thing. They don't even turn their brains off. I'll just TP bot. We'll probably get some kills bot lane. Boom, snowball, better mechanics. Game's over. But they can't do that. They need to actually play the game to beat a team like Dignitas. So
I think this shows up a lot too. If you think about like game one, like their strat, I'm also gleaning a little bit off River's interview on this. he was talking about like how they were playing around bot side the whole time, and like it was just very easy to read and counter. And so again, this could just be that they were just trying to get an easy win, right? It's easy to default to your bot lane. Your bot lane is your strongest side of the map. But it could also mean that when the chips are down, they couldn't sub in tenacity for the match point game.
Yeah.
Or they didn't try to. And then they didn't know how to play around someday, or at least use someday in an effective manner. So again, it's only been like they've only lost to FlyQuest and Dignitas, and it is lock-in, but lock-in's still a good amount of money, man. Like, yeah, people are saying it's only 150K. I don't know what jobs y'all are all working, but like
yeah.
30 grand or whatever cut may or may not be in their contract is not a small deal, especially for just playing for 3 weeks and you can just guarantee it. I would take that. So
it's good amount of money. Yeah, it's also notoriety too, right? It's like definitely you start off your year winning the first tournament, people are gonna be buying 100 Thieves merch all year long because that's the first thing that happened in the year in their mind. They want to buy 2022 merch, so not gonna happen for them. Yep.
You want to support the winners, right?
So. Yeah, their merch is sick too. So
it is pretty nice.
Bummer. You know, because you also think about it, right? I'm pretty sure Carlos has said this too. Teams who assume they win, they buy merch like preemptively. They probably had like some sort of lock-in special jersey or something, and now Nate Shot or whatever has got to return them all, or put them in a basement or something, or like try to get them changed or get like a 50% refund. You know, it's like this stuff is a big deal. This stuff matters. You bet Steve has already bought jerseys. You bet Steve just doubled his order after 100 Thieves lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to go back to a point you said about 100 Thieves and the fact that they did fall off and pretty, quickly. And I think what you said about the TP changes and them having a predominant way of playing, and now that that's been changed, the game has been changed so that they can't utilize that strategy anymore. I think this is going to be a big test for them because you're right. Like that was their identity. You get FBI and Huhi, one of the best bot lanes in the league ahead. That's a good chance to win. Well, now that option is kind of not on the table anymore. So what do you do? Like how else can you, play around your strengths, or do they shift somewhere else? And so this is what I think is fun and why sometimes it can be hard, I think, for teams to repeat and stay on top is because the game changes. It's not like any other game like basketball where the rules don't really change, drastically. The game actually changes where strategies and things are different. And it does change in traditional sports, but it takes way longer than here when they just patch something and the game is totally changed. So I'll be interested to see if 100 Thieves can adapt to that because that's going to really test them as an org or a team. You think they can?
I think they can. I mean, as Alistair said, they did it against C9. They just weren't trying. They have to they have to try. They're a very smart, good team, but they don't try. Yeah, they're gonna get 2-0'd by.
And we won't overreact here. We're just it's nice to think about because it is it's a kind of a thing that happened unexpected.
I do want to say there are other ways to dive bot lane at that same minute mark. Teleport was just a bit of a crutch for it. Yeah. It made it a lot easier and required a lot less execution. And I do want to say, as much of a hard time as we have been giving 100 Thieves, which I do think is justified because, I mean, I have a hard time saying a team's really good when it's the same issue I've had always with Sven. He plays up to his competition, but also down to his competition. And that's basically how 100 Thieves felt. But honestly, coming out of this weekend, the only thing I can think of as closer is when he solo killed Sven in mid lane. Sven just thought, I don't die here, and then flashes away and burns to red smite.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah, always the one in there.
Had to throw it in there.
Okay, I wasn't even thinking because it was Sven. It's just like he sits there, he doesn't flash because he thinks, I don't die here, and then it's like, wait, no, I do die here. And then flashes away and dies to red.
It's funny because when you said that, I remember that exact moment in my head. And I remember when I was watching it, I was thinking about you. I was like, I know Alistair's going to bring this one up because that was freaking hilarious.
I know, it's because I feel that, man. I feel that pain.
That red smite, yeah.
You're pro, man. Don't be greedy. That's what I always think. Like in solo queue, sure, greed it up. But like when you're
I think you just die there. I don't think you bother flashing. If you die, what does it do?
I think you insta flash, right? I think
you save your flash and you just die. You're out of position. There are no objectives up. They're not going to see you your core key.
I want to catch the wave. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's still solo. Maybe it's still solo.
There it
queue.
is.
Like a 1 in 6 Jin. What are
There it is.
That's worthless.
Catch the wave, man. Yeah, give me the wave. I'm sad.
All right, let's talk about evil geniuses, and I'm on the hype train, guys. I said this last week, but I think Jojopyun looks really, really good. And I was just looking at stats and stuff, right? Because Bjergsen, and we'll get to him too in Team Liquid, but Bjergsen is also playing well. But when you look at their stats, they are completely different styles of play. But I gotta say, Jojopyun's is way more exciting because he's a little more aggressive and will take picks that, are meant to go in there, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing. I mean, obviously EG going 2-0 against Golden Guardians, and what do you guys think about him, his performance? He also, when he was interviewed by Travis, he had some confidence, man, maybe a little bit of cockiness on there, saying when he's talking about Bjergsen, he was like, "This is it," like. He's like, that's to expect. And, Travis was like, were you trying to say that with trash talk? Or he's like, no, I was just saying that's what it felt like, the truth. I was like, this is the best mid of NA. And I was like, okay, young kid's got some, just like Fudge. But this guy feels like, he's already putting his money where his mouth is. I mean, if that's the saying. Stop me from making sayings anymore, okay, guys?
Yeah. Money where his mouth is. Yep.
There it is. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts.
My first impressions is I may have found my team to cheer for. I haven't had one for a while.
Yeah.
I'm definitely on the Jojopyun train. I've been hyped ever since the tweet before the first Team Liquid game. When he threw that shot at Bjergsen saying, "Why is everyone so hyped with this new TL mid laner?" That kind of thing. Yeah. I like it. Yeah. He's got my vote.
Yes.
I think I'm the EG fan.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I think it's pretty exciting to have EG play like this. Obviously, Golden Guardians was not really even a team, right?
No.
So we do have to temper our expectations with just this one series. Like, I don't know, Tony Top, man, I don't even know about that Vlad pick. That was just awful.
Oh, man, yeah.
That was just like the worst Vlad pick ever.
Poor guy.
I mean, it's not the worst one, but it was just not it. I didn't think so, at least. And then overall, right, mid diff is jungle diff. As a jungler, I'm just gonna say that mid diff is jungle diff, and I think inspired is really, really nuts. Always have, always will. He honestly makes it so easy for someone like Jojopyun to either get out of lane and do stuff, or to be really aggressive in lane. He gets obviously a ton of help from his team, and he helps his team a lot. But I like to imagine the veteran inspired is saying a lot in comms to be like, hey, you can play aggro. Hey, I'm in the jungle. I just went top side. His camps are gone. He's bot side. Hover this stuff. Blah blah blah. Right? Like all this basic stuff that maybe Jojopyun could just focus on his mechanics. I'm sure Inspired's got down. So really exciting team. Very exciting. Yep. Also, Danny got a pentakill, which is pretty sick.
Yes,
that is pretty sick. I'm gonna say, have y'all checked the match list they've gone through? Like, are we hyped because they beat GG twice, Dignitas, Immortals, CLG, and then they beat Liquid in a 41-minute game where Whipple went 2-9 with Hullbreaker on Teamfight Sion.
Yeah,
or not Hullbreaker.
Yeah.
What is it called? Hullbreaker, the solo item?
Yeah,
yeah. Hullbreaker Redemption, baby. Let's go.
They almost lost to that, and it was Bjergsen's first game in the league in like year. To be fair, it's Jojo's first game. Period.
Yeah.
I think Jojo's good. I think his jungler definitely is
helping Kevin.
Him look even better. No, I'm
Come
just
on,
saying
jump
that, like,
on this trade with us.
That's a lot of hype for a match list of beating like the bottom 5 teams.
Yeah.
Like
no, I agree. That's why I said I think. That's why I choose my words
right,
carefully.
that's fair.
You guys are scared. Come on, jump on this trade.
I couldn't even explain DG after they won every match. What do you mean I'm scared?
No, go ahead. I'm just saying, put it on. Don't temper it, man. Come on, let's get on this train
I'm
blindly.
I'm not even trying to temper it. I'm just saying honestly what I think, as I always do. I'm just
CSM fan.
That's how we roll, man.
Every time I flamed Blabber, it was because that's what I thought. I didn't think that he was a bad player per se. I just think he was not a smart player. And then I was right. Again, I said it when it wasn't popular, and then suddenly he, goes for the crab. Wow, who would have thought?
Anyways, go ahead, finish your thought. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted you to.
Definitely is exciting. I like that they have native talent that is doing well, and I think that getting inspired is like what you think of when you're getting an import, right? Like, so one really cool thing is that we have the best EU jungler, we have the best LATAM jungler in Jose Dioto, and we have the best PCS jungler in River now. And
Dude, rip
obviously
NA,
the best
man.
NA jungler.
Oh my god.
But like, we have a pretty stacked jungle pool if you assume they're all playing at their level. Jose Dioto is not there yet. River maybe is there. We don't know yet, but it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. River can get better. River did not play that well, honestly. He won. He did not play that well. River,
He's
I've
like
seen
2
River
days
play
off the
better.
plane, so it's honestly
Yeah.
impressive with that in mind. But yes,
No, I've seen him play better, a lot better. So there's no way. Yeah. To comment briefly on Golden Guardians, I mean, I don't think this is most of their main roster, right? So, it's kind of whatever. But a little scary. Iconic. He built Chemtank Diana. You're not a Kali, buddy. You can't do that. That was awful. I think that Chemtank Akali is an absolute abomination, but it's kind of a unique
an abomination.
Akali's an abomination, right? But like, I don't think you can just, plug and chug and put that anywhere. You can't put it on Diana. Please, if you're watching and you're thinking of playing solo queue, do not take that as inspiration. Just build Proto Belt or something or whatever.
I think it's getting nerfed or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
So we won't see that. Hopefully, we won't see that abomination on AP assassins anymore.
Jesus Christ, Iconic. Don't do that.
Well, did you see what I did like was my man Bwipo again, and I don't want to get too much in Team Liquid yet, but that dude pulled out the Rengar. I think he built Chemtank too, didn't he? I think he did. I'm going to look it up. I think he did because I think I remember watching that game going, this guy is
I just
straight
remember
up
him being up 18 to 1 CS at one point in lane.
Yes.
That was something.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Akali messed up the lane by doing that. Yeah. Because I've actually played that matchup. It's actually not a matchup that happens a lot, but for some reason I've played it a handful of times. Yeah, Akali should win that. If you just don't int, you win it at 6 really hard. But she definitely inted.
She lost at 6 as well, which because she didn't have the wave controls correctly and health and everything. Yeah. She went Chemtank, Sterax, Titanic in some order.
Okay.
It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yep. Rip Revenge. Revenge the next. Revenge is like the next freaking Viper. I feel like, I don't know. He plays really well his first year, and then he's just been playing awfully in this lock-in tournament. Like, oh my god. So hopefully he doesn't pull another Viper and just have a really crappy next 2 years, because they're both Riven 1 tricks, right? So both Riven 1 tricks came in really great years, really great first year, and then I hope Revenge gets better because he is NA hope. He was one of the NA hope.
And I think they are banking on that, Revenge and kind of Xerxes being the backbone of this team. And it's not working out too well. And by the way, Bwipo did build Chemtank.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Chemtank on Rengar. So I just thought that was interesting. But look, man, I just want to say again, I know that EG has had an easy match list, but come on, Jojo he's played 5 different champs, 5 different styles, really, and he is styling with everything. And I wanted to share this little part because I was kind of getting excited when I think of the top 3 mids right now at this week 2 or whatever. I think of Jojo, Bjergsen, and Fudge. Actually, I think Fudge is playing really well, and I look at their stats, and they're all playing well. But you could see how each style is, and Bjerg is definitely more of that control. You can see he has better laning stats overall, better CS, but his KDA is so high because Bjergsen is he's like a control type player. He doesn't, we have seen him every now and then go on the Akali, the Irelia, but I think to me, he's more of a Zillion, Syndra, Orianna player, that kind of mage, whereas Jojo's picking Lucian and TF and, these more aggressive types, and you could see that. And although Jojo's death share is a little bit higher, his damage, for team fights is greater too. And Fudge, ironically, is right in the middle of a lot of these stats. So he's kind of in the middle of, he does roam sometimes, but he also plays lane sometimes. And dude, I'm hyping this up like no other. And so I'm going all in, man. Just like the podcast name, because if in 2 weeks he looks like blue, if Jojo looks like blue, I'm gonna be eating my words. But if not, I'm gonna say, I told you, man. I have a good feeling. And the fact that Alistair, we were talking about his tweet and his trash talking, and the fact that he's just coming in with his confidence, it reminds me a little bit about Double Lift. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like just that smirk, that kind of that attitude of like, oh, that's it. Like he's the best mid laner, like saying it so matter of factly when he's definitely trying to throw a dig. Young kid, I love it. NA, let's go, let's move forward. I'm ready to see it happen.
Wow, you get to end on the final note, huh? You just
That's
leave
right.
it at that. All right, Jojo is the best. Yeah, he's all right, man.
I'm telling you, man.
He's all right, dude.
I'm telling you, man.
He's gonna
will
get
see.
so hard punished in a best of 5. You have no idea. He's gonna get so hard punished. They'll probably make it to the finals.
But he has time to level up until then, I think.
I'm just saying, in this lock-in tournament, if he makes it to finals against Team Liquid, they're gonna punish his aggression. He will not get the same damage share. Like, it is so much easier to play Bjergsen's style, especially when you're better.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's pretty good, but yeah.
Okay, maybe after next week, next week we'll have a more definitive answer, because if they because I'm assuming it's going to be EG and Team Liquid. Then I want to see that. I really want to see this matchup, because I'm putting, and I'm a Bjergsen fan, so this is exciting to me. So I really want to see these two styles, like really, like what's going to thrive kind of in this, in this beginning of this new season. So that's all I got to say. I'm excited to watch. It's fun, if anything, for the highlights. And, look, please give me some excitement in League. Like, I want it, I don't want it always controlled.
Be excited. He will smurf on every other mid laner that's not maybe like top 3, right?
Yeah.
That's probably gonna happen, which is pretty cool. That's sick.
Okay. Let's talk about Team Liquid now, because Team Liquid is also, performing as expected. Bwipo's still doing his thing. I think the whole team seems to be firing on all cylinders, honestly. What are your thoughts?
It's hard to say more than they're performing as expected, aside from Bwipo in that Sion game. It's you look at this team, it's like, they're contenders to win the whole thing. Especially Hansam and Core JJ got to play together this weekend.
That was sweet.
Yep, that was exciting.
Yeah, I don't really have that much to say other than like they played well. We expected them to play well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have much to say either, except they're clearly outclassed the crap out of FlyQuest and Immortals. It wasn't even remotely close.
Yeah.
Just like everything is very clean. It's very organized. They have a game plan. Yes. There's not a second wasted. They're not even like, the only game that was kind of interesting and flashy was the second game between Team Liquid and FlyQuest, where Hansama did die in a 2v2.
Yeah.
And then you just saw Santorin and Bjergsen just go on an absolute tirade and just 2v2 jungle mid kill them over and over again. Like, imagine playing Diana Yasuo and your Diana's farming and not hovering mid.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not even close, right? Like, Bjergsen and Santorin are on the same page. Jose Diodo's clearing his Krugs while Yasuo is either getting frozen on or just getting ganked for the 7th time. Like, I think if FlyQuest actually knew how to play that duo, as in, like, literally, whenever your wave's getting pushed in as a Yasuo, you need your Diana behind you. Because any smart team with a Xin Zhao is just going to click you, and you're going to die. FlyQuest didn't even know how to play their comp at all. Diana has to hover. Or the support has to. Someone has to hover the Yasuo as he dashes forward and trades and goes back and forth in and out, because he's such an easy way to gank. They're really good. I'm excited to see where they go, but I don't even think they're playing
at their ceiling yet.
Yeah, they're not even close.
They're not.
Okay, so we talked earlier about how 100 Thieves, they're actually playing their A team. They played Someday on the match point. They didn't put Tenacity in once, right? So it looked like they cared. Liquid has changed up 3 roles, just like for fun. And they obviously they had to have one subbed out, right? But they just were like, oh, Bradley, you can go in. We will just do Han Sama score GG, give you a preview of that. They absolutely stopped. And Bradley played well. Like I thought, I was like, I didn't really know anything about him. I was like, oh, he played well enough. He was like 7-0 and 2 stats why he played well. But mechanically, he was also pretty clean. Yeah. So I was like, okay, great. So we have 2-ish subs, I would say, that are like worth subbing in. I'm still not super impressed by Young. I don't know how to say his name.
Yeah.
But
it's irrelevant because you have Core as your support. So I still feel...
right. So like they still win, right? Yeah. Like they lost once to EG. But it just looks like they don't need to care that much. They're just like trying out different things. They're literally just limit testing mid-tournament, and pretty much whenever they're on, they're on. Like it doesn't like they're playing smart, but Whipple's just doing his own thing sometimes, right? Like he's just like, I'm gonna go for the solo kill against a losing matchup, and I'm gonna do it. And I'll do it again. And it's just hilarious to watch like 4 people try to gank him to shut him down. So I think this team is crazy. It's good that this looks like healthier synergy. Yeah. The problem is it's not a full team, but it looks like healthier synergy than the Alfari Liquid, where it was like we need to play around him or else we will be in trouble. But it was like 4 people top. Good shit.
Yeah.
So right. I'm very happy with that.
They also have Han Sama versus Tactical, which makes it so that you don't have to play at the top.
That's true.
This is very true. When you saw Core JJ's iteration of the team comp come in, like you just saw how much more consistent that dominance is. Because Tactical could do the pressure, but you can't always like count on him to not
he's gonna malfight
die repeatedly. Like you could die. Han Sama died once in game 2, but it didn't feel like it was game over for him as a player.
Yeah, I think just echoing everything you guys said, I feel like they already are meshing very well, which we've talked about their chemistry before, and I think we're just seeing that play out in the tournament. Like you can tell they're a lot more cohesive than any other team right now. And I'm loving it. Just to give you a preview, because I think this is the first time we saw Han Sama and Core JJ play, right? Callista Thresh, they went 4-1 and 18. They are freaking nuts, man. I'm just excited
to Callista, so
Callista and Thresh. Yeah, like it was pretty insane. And just the fact that we talk about their one loss against EG, experimenting and stuff like that. That's the bad Scion build by Bwipo, and they still almost, pulled that victory out, or it wasn't very easy for EG. So this is a scary team. Go ahead, Kevin. You're about to say something.
I was going to say, I noticed Kuma also built Hullbreaker too. I don't know if this is just like all the Scions are sipping the same Kool-Aid, but like, I was why is he building that too?
It's his best item.
It is, but if you're forced to fight with your team, is it still even good despite the fact you're not using the...
No, it's not, obviously.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
Item. Yeah, it's like his best item, but like you definitely you get it to like just kind of dumpster lane. Like Scion is really crazy in lane right now. Like you just can't kill him. He does stupid damage for building full tank. Like the Baus does it all the time. Dude, he just shoves waves, takes turret plates, and like if you try to trade with him, you just get chunked and he just runs away.
I see.
But he goes for phase rush though, so it's a little different. But I just don't think they know what they're doing. But if they played the build right, as in you would just get crazy amounts of gold advantages from like plates and side turrets and stuff, and then you team fight later and you don't care because you're so far ahead in golds that Hullbreaker doesn't work in team fights.
Yep.
It's definitely the best build.
Okay. So with that said, who do you think's going to win? Because again, we're assuming that TL against EG, right? We're assuming that's going to be the finals. So I mean, give me your thoughts. Give me your predictions. I told you how hype I... By the way...
I still see it over CLG, by the way.
Who cares, though, really? All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
I do want to bring in... You said Fudge was 3rd place. He was like... There were some of those games where he was not getting the CS leads he should be getting in those matchups. Like, letting Corki just play the game. Anyways, there wasn't much to say about that game other than CLG actually took a game, which is actually kind of impressive.
Dude, CLG did take a game, but like Darshan on tanks versus Daisharan on carries is like just night and day. It feels like, oh my goodness, like the amount of times he's played Akshan in this tournament, or Akshan or whatever. I've never been convinced once he actually is good at the champion. He E's really badly a lot, which is a big deal for Akshan. That's like your main thing. Yeah. So, Also, just I actually think CLG. I mean, if you're playing against an unstable team, like you're gonna take games. Like they will just keep running at you. Contracts is just a worse blabber, honestly. He will just run into
Yeah.
your jungle. He will keep chasing you. Like when he turned into Thresh on Viego and he just ran all the way to the turrets to try to land a hook. He missed the hook and then they both died. It's like even if you landed that hook, you're not killing him. I don't know. So contracts is just a worse blabber. So I can see why CLG can take games off of C9 like this.
Yeah.
And I think CLG is going to be able to take random games off of anybody all year long. I think I'm predicting this right now. CLG is going to be like 8th, 9th, 10th, but they will take a game off Team Liquid super randomly in the middle of the year by playing hyper aggressive. Bwipo's going to like Hashinshin die like 4 times or something, and then they're going to run with it. So.
And they're gonna pick Vi.
Yep. Yep. Ooh, that'd be sick. Contracts Vi, a little ode to his poor friends. Broxa,
I mean,
that's his name, right?
this was the bottom team that I was like the most stoked about, and yeah, they take random games. I will say Jenkins is a lot worse on a main roster than I expected.
Yeah.
Just not impressive compared to his
He
Liquid
got camped
stint.
really badly. But yeah, he's
Yeah,
bad.
this is true. He did get camped really badly, but he's losing to like the camp Darshan, right?
Yeah.
Like Darshan's played fine, but I don't know. I expected a lot more compared to what his Liquid stint was. So
Yeah.
maybe he'll get better, but maybe it's not as easy when you have the pressure of being a starter.
I mean, I just
Also-
want to say, go ahead.
It's just not as easy when Contracts is like just not even playing the game. Like
That's true.
he's running into the jungle when you should be covering lanes or you should be like protecting against dives. Because like some of those dives are so obvious. Corky's been off the map for like 30 seconds, man. Where do you think he's going? Like he's going top lane because that's the only wave that's shoving into them. It's just the stuff is so obvious. Like it should be so obvious to junglers, but Contracts is so hard for. I got his timings on his raptors, and I'm gonna steal them on cooldown. I don't know. I can just see it in Contracts and Blabber's heads. Like that's how they see the game versus what they're supposed to be doing. And Inspired is doing everything right? So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I just wanted to talk about the point where, you were talking about Fudge's, not getting leads. I mean, he played 3 different champions. He had CS leads on every game. I don't know what games we were watching, but I felt like he played
one CS lead in game 3.
Yeah, but he wasn't getting behind, and I felt like his roam was much better. And that's what I mean, where he plays a little bit of both styles. Because you talk about Jojo, his CS numbers are bad too, compared to Bjergsen. But that's because he roams, and Fudge has been a little bit of both. Like he can be that carry, he can be that roamer, and he can kind of stay in lane too. We saw the Orianna. I wanted to see his Orianna game because we talked about that. He had just been playing Victor. Corky's not really a champion. Like, anybody can play that, but I wanted to see his Orianna, and it wasn't bad. They lost the game, but it looked fine to me. I don't think it's going to be as rough. I mean, there's still a lot of other champions that we still have to see from him, but honestly, from what I see, I definitely think he's top 3, and I think his stats have proven it. And just from my eye test, I feel also that him and Blabber are playing well together, and he's doing a pretty good job overall. Again, we'll have to see how he fares against the other top mid laners, but so far so good. So anything else for Cloud9 or CLG?
I agree with you about.
They weren't going to do anything in the semis, regardless of who won. So.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true with C9, but I do agree on the Fudge point. When we're looking forward into Spring Split, I think he's going to be pretty good. I just don't know how good he'll be, right? Like there's some people like he can put on these steady, stable performances, but like he clearly can't overcome his side lanes getting overrun or bad drafting, right? Because that's what really marks a really good mid laner is that Bjergsen could be given a crap draft and terrible side lanes, and he will carry the game. And we've seen other mid laners like Faker do that too, right? Like so when we say top 3, right? Who cares, right? How big is the gap between him and Bjergsen, or how like that's really what I want to measure, because you could have top 3, but it's really just top 1,
Sure.
and then a gulf, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm more curious about looking into the future, because right now, from what I can see, even with Jojopyun and Fudge, there is a big gulf between them and Bjergsen. It's pretty obvious, and and just many stages of the game. So,
okay. Do you also think though it's a team diff?
Yeah, of course. Oh, it's a
Okay.
big team diff too. Yeah, I mean,
Because say you sub. No, because say you sub.
So.
I mean, chemistry aside, let's say you sub, one of the other two, Fudge or Jojo, into Team Liquid.
Yeah.
Do you think the same
I don't
happens?
think they do as well. No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think they can, but like we haven't seen Bjergsen sweat yet. Like when we look back in the times,
he doesn't need to.
Bjergsen is like he's got a worse team than C9 and a worse team than EG, and he is playing 17 times better.
Yeah.
So we've seen that from Bjergsen very consistently over many, many years. Seen it through Fudge once at MSI, right? Never seen it between Jojopyun. So
think about this too, talking about that, and we've kind of, at least me and you have, Mitchell, kind of come to this kind of understanding that Bjergsen is not the greatest in-game shot caller, and even with macro and stuff like that. And imagine him playing that well, carrying TSM when maybe he's the one making the calls and they're not great, and and he's still winning and he's still carrying. Now with him on Team Liquid, if he's enabled to just not have to do that part and he could just play mid, that's kind of a scary thought, honestly.
Awesome,
yeah. So
I feel like if you, as long as you have a voice, right? CoreJJ saying, doesn't matter if CoreJJ has 50 deaths.
Yeah.
Bjergsen
Listen
can
to maybe that's why he wanted to play with him so bad. Just the fact that he knows that that's how Core plays, right? Like it's more of I will call the shots of the game. You just play. You just don't worry, buddy. I got you. That's what Core does,
CoreJJ's trying to die faster so you can shock call from gray screen.
There you go. It's exactly right. That's 500 IQ right there, man. I'm gonna die so that I can coach my team.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on then. Finally, because I was really itching to get to this, as you could tell. TL versus EG. Come on now. Let's go. Predictions, because this is exciting to me. Like I can't wait to see this match. Hopefully, I hope there's no dumb upsets, because honestly, I want to see this matchup, TL and EG. So go ahead. What are your thoughts?
See what Cloud9 play somebody, right? And Dignitas play somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Liquid plays Dig.
Yeah, Liquid plays Dig.
C9 plays EG.
Yep.
If we both assume that EG and TL are just gonna win, which I think is pretty safe. I don't know. I'm not gonna even talk very much. I'm just gonna say it's Team Liquid. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 games?
No, maybe 3-1. I think 3-1 is pretty good.
Okay,
I think competitive. I would give competitive 3-1. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Who's next?
I'll go.
You know my take, so I'll let Al start.
I think it's. I think part of it would be relevant to the narrative of what iteration of TL's roster is playing, because I think there's a higher chance and it would be more competitive if Hansama or CoreJJ are not playing. I think if maybe Bwipo isn't playing and they're playing Bradley and then Hansama, CoreJJ, then we might see a 3-0.
Interesting.
Right. Yeah. They're good. Yeah. That's a good point.
Overall, I don't actually think that's what they're going to do. I think they'll keep Bwipo in, and I think EG might get 1 or 2 games.
Yeah.
Of course, this is coming off the back of, we watched EG beat Team Liquid, but at the same time, Bwipo moments were happening a lot. And I would have faith that that doesn't happen again in, finals of lock-in tournament. So I'm going to say 3-2 Team Liquid.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's fine.
If in the magical world where that green card gets approved in the next week, it's going to be 3-0 and someone's getting benched. However,
I completely agree.
I think realistically they're going to probably mix up their roster at least once during that best of 5, so I think it's a 3-1. We've seen Liquid get 2-0 by Cloud9 like multiple times, or TSM or whatever in the regular season, and it absolutely stomped them in playoffs. Like, I don't think it's the same beast. And we've seen enough iterations where I'm more confident in Liquid. I also think that if it's Giliota or whoever is helping them draft, their drafts are getting better relative to last year. Again, it's only been like 2 weeks, but I'm happier with the drafts overall. so far.
They play Callista, so I don't know. That's kind of true.
Hey, it destroyed them. So I don't know either. I haven't known Callista in pro play. Like I don't get it, but it keeps working. So I was like, all right.
Her E got buffed, so it's tricking people into thinking you can play her, but you cannot. She's terrible.
I agree. It just if it wins, I can't complain too much.
Yeah, I know. Clearly, Hansama's like they were like, let's style these kids. We're Hansama for JJ. Like, we're gonna play a B-tier champion.
They wanted to really just limit test themselves. Really, let's not make it too easy for us and play something like Kate Lux or something because that would be dumb. But
I mean, Hansama had 11 CS a minute in that game.
Yeah, it's disgusting, man. It's like.
Like I don't like. I'm gonna be honest. As absolutely terrible as that champion is, you have 11 CS a minute.
Yeah, you're gonna do some pretty good stuff.
I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's pretty insane.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think it's honestly, I've been hyping up JoJo because I do think he's the next big thing. However, I really want Team Liquid to win 3-0 because I want Bjergsen to show him how it's done because of all this trash talking, because of whether he says it's trash talking or not, I'm taking it as trash talking because it's getting me hype. And I want, I'm a boomer myself, right? Bjergsen, come on, show the young lad how it's done and take him down. And honestly, though, if you go line by line, it really is like Team Liquid favored all the way. I mean, I guess junglers, you could say inspired, but Santorin is nothing to walk
top
over.
lane too. I might take impact over Bobo, honestly.
Yeah. No. I agree too. Yeah, I think that there's probably but I don't think that gap is like so much of an edge where you're like, okay, I'm definitely giving it this. So I think it will be a 3-0, honestly, Team Liquid. But the only thing I can hope for is that it is competitive. I would hate to just see. Actually, no, I wouldn't. I was going to say I'd hate to see Team Liquid just roll over them, but no, I think that would be cool, too. That'd be fine.
That'd
be fun, too. It'd be such a spicy start to the season.
It would be.
Everyone would just be like, can't wait for MSI. Like, that's what people would be saying, right?
Yes.
Something I do want to say, though, is Team Liquid, it's not like whether, they're going to be forced to change up the roster. I think they're willingly going to experiment with their roster because they know that their goals are loftier than winning lock-in tournament, and they're willing to risk games and risk the final by experimenting. So they're going to put in the rookies. They're going to put in Bradley again probably, or Ayla, or Yeon, and they might draw games because of it, and they might lose the final because of it. Just saying. They might do this, and they might not care, and they might say, hey man, we got some good experience. We got some good stage time for our rookies who we might need if our green card doesn't come in. So I think that's a pretty important point to make, that we get to make excuses if TL loses.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
I also want to say that on top of this already compounding strength that Team Liquid has, the fact that we've seen 3 subs and all 3 look really serviceable, really good. It would be insane if Team Liquid just had those subs playing things that are kind of testing the meta, stuff that seems OP in solo queue, but they're not sure and competitive, and they just learn it and are mastering those different things, so that it brings another kind of wild card into the game where example, just because it's easy to remember, is the Kali Chemtank thing. Maybe people weren't sure if it was going to be good and competitive. Well, you have somebody like Bradley, just spamming it in solo queue, practicing with a coach or whatever, and they bust it out for a game.
He didn't play it.
He didn't play. He played a Kali, but he didn't play Chemtank.
Yeah, he didn't play Kali. He played
Riftmaker. And Shadow Flame, I think, or something.
Yeah.
It looks scary.
We'll see. Yeah, it's just I think a Kali is just busted. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, who would have guessed?
Yeah.
AD carries
Yeah.
I will say it kind of proves that it's easy to look good on a really good team, by the way. Again, I think at least 1 or 2 of those rookies are probably good, but all of them look pretty decent at any given time. Because if we put me in with Core JJ, I'm not good at AD carry. I'll look awful. Yeah. But we'll still win. My number at the end of the day will be positive, probably.
Yeah. You just play Ash, and then Core JJ will just ping, here, fire this.
Hawk shot.
Hawk shot
Every
there.
last hit, he'll ping, and I'll just click whenever he pings.
You miss a cannon, and Cordi's like, you know, fuck it, I'm farming.
Yeah.
I'm going top lane.
He sells his item, gets relic shield.
I'm farming. just fire an arrow.
We're playing fasting Senna.
Yeah. You know what, Kevin? It's time. You're timing summoner spells. I'm done with this.
I'm done. I'm done with this. Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, it looks like this is a Team Liquid podcast because we just all voted for him. But I'm excited to see it either way. I hope the games are at least competitive. But let's talk about the meta, right? Because a lot of stuff happened again. We finally saw Diana picked. We saw Gwen. Gwen is just killing it top lane. I mean, 13 games played, 62% win rate. Corki is still crazy. I think, he's definitely getting nerfed in a next patch, but it's still going to take a while for competitive. And, he's first in mid presence, 73% win rate. The second highest is Victor, and he only has a 40% win rate right now. So Corki is busted in pro play.
Yes.
We talked about Senna, coming back. We saw a couple of Senna games. That was the pentakill from who had a penta? I can't remember. Danny with Senna. So we'll I know it's gonna get nerfed, but again, gonna take a while. And the support, what I noticed with support, I'm playing support right now, and it's like there's so much variety that I'm really liking it because we're seeing everything. I mean, we're seeing Karma, Lulu, Leona, Thresh, all of these supports. And I think it's just exciting to see, especially with the kind of matchups that are going on in the bot lane. But thoughts on the meta? Talk about whatever you want, or if there's one that I didn't mention, then feel free to go for it.
So I'll go first. There's a possibility we might see some Veigar. He got some pretty solid buffs.
Yep.
He gets a lot more stacks. 1 second off
I
his
did
Q,
see that, yeah.
And something else I can't remember off the top of my head. Senna, obviously, champion is absolutely insane right now. Might see some Tristana mid. The base health buff and health regen is a big deal for Tristana mid, though I don't know how she would do in the current meta against a Corki or a Victor.
She doesn't do great in a Victor, but she destroys Corki.
Okay.
It's like not even close.
There's a good chance we see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I mean, do we really have to say Janna? The champion's
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's gonna
champion's
be
bugged.
I can almost guarantee you she's pick ban. Her tornado. I honestly can't remember what spell it is. I've never played Janna.
It's called Tornado.
No, I mean what if it's Q, W, or E.
Yeah. It's Q.
It's Q.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's borderline undodgeable. It's faster than a Blitzcrank hook, and if you get hit by it, your angles get snapped in two.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty miserable.
Wait, this patch isn't hitting lock-in though, right? Or
I don't know.
I don't think
shouldn't. They should have tourney realm.
Yeah, I don't think they're changing the patch for lock-in. So we might not see any of this in the lock-in tournament.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What about now? I don't know if this will become to lock-in as well, but Chemtank Drake.
Yeah, I don't know if the removal of Chemtank Drake is going to affect lock-in. I'm imagining not.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I would guess probably not. But
pretty weird.
While we're talking about it, we called it.
That's right.
Chemtank Drake finally got removed. Hey,
you got to give Riot credit. They actually react pretty quickly compared to literally any other game I played. By another publisher.
I fully expected them to just try and tweak it until mid-season. It's like, wow.
It's finally because that's what they've done in the past, and so it's finally nice to see that they're like, you know what? Okay, my bad, our bad. Suck. You can't fault them. Like honestly, like how much more respect as a community do we have for them for at least trying something? Didn't work out. I know you sunk a lot of resources into it, and you're cutting it a loss, and so. Thank goodness. And Alistair's sneezing his face. You guys can't see this in the podcast.
It's also on the back of Arcane, right? Like they're taking out the Chemtech, Hextech dynamic with all the hype that's come from Arcane. Like it's so cool, right? Thematically, it's so cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'll probably bring it back or something along the lines.
That's what I think.
They're actually willing to disable it.
Yeah.
And be like, all right, it's our bad. Like that Reddit thread was like just all like, we take this? We're just happy? Like
there
was no flame. People were just
nothing of value was lost.
They have their pitchforks and like, what do I do with this?
I know, like, okay.
Can we do Diego and Yumi?
Thank you.
Yeah,
I know, right?
Maybe
what else can we?
Aurelia and Akali while we're at it.
Yeah. What else can we get?
ZW.
I think with this change though, they obviously made the right call, right, to remove it. But like, if they sat around not removing it, it would have ruined the year. It
Yeah.
would have just absolutely ruined the entire year. 2022 would have had a big asterisk. Someone rolled a Chemdrake, and no one cares anymore. So
I do want to say we probably should be using the right terminology where it wasn't removed, it was disabled.
Yeah.
Which basically means it's going to come back in another form.
Yep.
yeah, it'll come
And
back in
my
another
theory
form.
is they decided to finally remove it after they watched the TL Academy game, where they only won the game because they had Chemtank Soul and were able to kill the Nexus with 2 lives. Where,
Yeah.
They had like 13 lives because they had everyone had
So funny.
everyone had the Soul and like 3 people had GA or something like that.
Oh my gosh, that's
You play
hilarious.
Scion, Kog'Maw, Karthus, yes. 20 lives, Zillion, yes.
Oh man. Okay. Well, yeah. Thank
That's some
goodness.
good stuff.
R.I.P. Nobody's gonna miss it. It'll be interesting also to see what they come up with because, yeah, like you said, it's been disabled. I do think it's gonna come back, especially because thematically, it's gonna be totally different. Be nice to see what happens there. All right. What about other stuff in the meta? Anything else you want to talk about? So, I mean, I guess I don't know. Corky, busted. I mean, that thing is just nuts, man.
Yeah, disgusting. I think we've talked mostly about the meta. The one thing I wanted to bring up is the lack of Diana. I actually think pros they underestimate how good Diana is. Like they think you can only play Diana with Diana Yasuo. I think she's a lot better than that. I think like with the recent changes, I mean they're about to change again. There's a big bruiser announcement, but that's not for this tournament. Diana has pretty good matchups into Viego and Lee Sin. Xin Zhao kind of just still beats her, but like into those 2 champions, Viego, Lee Sin, she can win 1v1s. She can outplay them. She has a lot of options in those matchups, and she farms incredibly fast. I'm pretty surprised that pros aren't going for her more. They only do it if there's Diana Yasuo, and I think that's disappointing. I also think people are sleeping on J4. I think J4 is a lot better than the priority suggests. I think Xin Zhao is so much higher than he should be, where J4 is really, really good. So those are my thoughts on the jungle meta for this tournament.
I agree with you with the J4.
I'm excited to see more Vex play. I think that character is busted, and I think that it'll just take like 1 or 2 more nerfs of like Corky, especially, who's just an anchor, right? And you're just gonna see Vex like shoot the dude. This character, in my mind, has way too much, and it's only a little bit of a lack of comfort. And matchups aren't like perfect for Vex, but like I just like look at that kid, I'm just like, this could just win games, take over games. Like this is a Jojopyun character. Like when you think of like people who want to just win games, not solo, but like enable just a solo carry, it's gotta be like this kind of character. So
yeah,
I think it's busted.
Vex conceptually is incredibly difficult to play against because the only thing that could really beat Vex is something that outranges her, right? But then champions who tend to outrange her usually are super prone to getting one shot if they get hit by a single ulti, right? So like if you have something like Syndra or Orianna or Azir who can really outrange her, if you get hit by an ulti though, you still lose, even if you're crapping on her all lane long. And then if you're a melee assassin, AD, bruiser, anything, you can never touch her ever. So just conceptually, really difficult champion to counter, and her numbers are crazy high. So
yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I mean that. Pretty much everything we had to talk about, unless there's anything about the game in general that, I mean, mentioned supports. I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to, Alistair, if you had anything about ADCs or supports to say. I do want to say that, like, I like how, we're seeing maybe more like duo picks to kind of work with each other, kind of like the Lux Caitlyn. We haven't seen it yet, but there's always Lucian Nami. And just seeing Karma and Lulu again, and still seeing the old like trio of Thresh, Nautilus, and Leona. Like, I just think there's so much variety, and I think that there's more, comp thought now into the bot lane picks, at least from what I see at the moment. But did you have any other thoughts on the bot lane there, Alistair? Because I know that's your domain.
I mean, not particularly. It's not really changing much.
Yeah.
And I know it's not going to affect lock-in. I mean, we could talk about Zeri.
Yeah.
Nah,
but
yeah, that's not going to affect. Yeah, we'll save that for another one.
I just wanted to highlight that there's a lot of like Kate bans and Kate priority. I personally think Jinx is the best ADC by far.
Oh,
and
man,
if you don't have heavy Jinx priority, you're trolling. Like people picking Ezreal into that crap is like the dumbest thing ever.
Jinx beats Caitlyn too.
Yeah, Jinx beats Caitlyn. That's a winning matchup for her, and Jinx has like Jinx's losing matchup is what, Jhin, right?
Yeah,
like that's
Jin's the only meta ADC that actually beats Jinx.
Yeah, and that's like it's such a whatever matchup, right? Because it's like, oh no,
I have sit there and farm. The counter is you don't lose.
Yeah, I have a Karma Lulu. Oh no, I don't care about Jhin at all. So I think Jinx should be the #1 ADC, but for some reason Kate is giving so much more priority.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because junglers love being able to invade really early on, but like you can do it with the Jinx too.
I think I think part of it has to do with the frequency of hourglasses and stopwatches.
Oh, that's a good point.
Angels. Because they have, especially Guardian Angel on bruisers, we see it third item on junglers all the time.
Yep.
Caitlyn basically just makes that item irrelevant. You buy it and you just
That's
get.
true.
Plus,
Trapped.
the other one is they still have Chemtank map.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the soul.
You're playing Caitlyn, they pop up, they just die instant anyways.
Also, ulting people from the mist too with the bonus damage is just hilarious. It's so stupid that you can do that. I still think though Jinx is like I don't understand people who give away Jinx. It really makes me just think they don't understand their own drafts.
Yeah, I agree. I think that has to be, priority #1. That she is too busted. Like it is insane.
It's so hard to counter her right now. There aren't enough. The right champions aren't meta for her to be countered. So
I wonder if we see even both of them being banned. For a lot of what's coming up. Yeah, and I'm wondering if it'll happen more just because you allow either one of those, and I think that's a hard win condition right there. Just need to ban them. So, and if they do that, it would be nice to see what other ADCs emerge because they're busted right now.
I can tell you, Aphelios, Jhin would be the next two.
And
sure.
Ezreal. You think Senna? I don't think the Senna buffs are on this patch, right?
No, they.
No, okay, so all right.
Yeah. But Senna's still pretty strong in this patch, though.
Sure,
in the lock-in patch, she's still pretty strong.
She's strong, but I mean, on current patch for everyone else, she's
ungodly. Yeah. She's
the slow on her Q is just insane.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Right.
I've been spamming it. All right, guys. Well, if there's nothing else, then I just want to thank my co-hosts again, Kevin, Mitchell, and Alistair, for always sharing their wise insights. But until next time, guys, enjoy your climb on the Rift. Try not to be too toxic, and we'll see you all on the next episode. Peace.